Good morning, student. My name is Miss Manisha Borkar, Department of Fishery Science, NES Science College, Nanded. Today we are going to start the theory paper second. The name of paper is the type study of wallgo attu. It is commonly called as a freshwater shark. Okay, today's we are seeing here the unit number 3rd. The topic is arterial system, which is totally related to the blood circulatory system. Okay, in previous lecture we are seeing the venous system and the heart and the structure and working of the heart. Okay, in arterial system we knows that the in that heart there is a afferent and efferent arteries are present here. So, okay, these arteries they carries the blood and which in the form of that which supplies to that the gills. Okay, they will be helps in the process of the respiration. Okay, we are seeing here one by one what is the role of the afferent branchial arteries, then the efferent branchial arteries. Okay, firstly we are seeing here the ventral aorta and afferent branchial arteries. Seen here, the ventral aorta is a tubular extension of the bulbous arteriosus of the heart and runs anteriorly forward, where it bifurcates near the second hollow branch to give of the first pair of afferent branchial arteries. Okay, these are the first pair of arteries, branchial arteries. Okay, the ventral aorta also gives of second, third and the fourth afferent branchial arteries to the gills. Okay, we are knows that the gills which is in the form of that the various hollow branches are present in that the gills. There is a first, second, third, fourth afferent branchial arteries are present here. Here's the first afferent artery runs in front of the second gill pouch or to the hollow branch, the second arising from the middle of the aorta which supplies the second hollow branch. Then the third and the fourth apparent arteries which arise at the base of the aorta by a common stem which soon divides into a two to supply the third and fourth hollow branches. The afferent branchial arteries which is divide into a number of filamental vessels which supplying blood to the gill filaments. Here's this is the ventral internal structure of a heart which we are dissect here. There is a dissecting ventral part of that the heart. Here's the various parts are present here. We are seen here that the ventral aorta which is present in that the topmost portion. Then here's the various bulbous arteriosus is present here. Then the tubercles, the semilunar wall is present here, and in that the structure of that the heart, here's the present of the articuloventricular wall is present here, which is connected to that the ventricle and the auricle. Okay, in that structure of the heart we are seeing the various fourth part main, that is the ventricle, auricle, then the bulbous arteriosus are the main part of that the heart. Okay, here's the ductus curvi are present here. Then the veins, okay, that the sinus auricular wall, then the infrajungular veins are present here, then the sinus venosus, and here's the hepatic veins are present here which carries the blood. Here's the efferent branchial arteries, the blood capillaries from the gill filaments of the hemi and hollow branches join to form the efferent branchial arteries, which are only 4 pairs in a wallgo. Okay, these efferent arteries which are in a 4 pairs in a wallgo. The first and the second efferent branchial arteries which collect blood from the first two, then the hollow branches and unite outside the gills to form the first short epibranchial artery. The first epibranchials of the two sides unite dorsally nearly in the middle of the body to form the dorsal aorta. Okay, here's the third and fourth branchial arteries We also unite to form a very short second epibranchial artery which pours into the dorsal aorta. The first and second efferent branchial arteries are forked at their ventral ends where they join the hypobranchial ramus, while the fourth is neither forked nor joined at the ventral end. Okay, here's the arteries of the head. The blood supply of the head is through a pair of carotid arteries and a pair of auditory arteries. Okay, here's the ventral view of afferent arteries and the heart. Okay, there is a gill arches are present here, afferent arteries for second, afferent artery third, then the afferent arteries are fourth is present here, and then top one portion that the afferent arteries are present. Here's the ventricle auricle, then the jugular veins are present here in the ductus curvi, and these are the hepatic veins. This is a ventral view of the afferent arteries and the heart. Here's the common carotid artery is given off anterior to the first epibranchial artery from the cephalic circle formed by the union of the carotids in front and the right and left superbranchials behind. The common carotid soon divides into the external and internal carotid arteries are present here. A small carotid labyrinth is formed just at the point of origin of the internal carotid from the common carotid. Then the internal carotid after a short course divides into two branches, the outer branch of the internal carotid which gives off an optic artery to the eye, and the lateral cephalic branch to the lateral side of the roof of the cranium. Here we are seeing here the external carotid. Here the external carotid also divides into a outer maxillomandibular branch and a inner opercular and the optic branch. The outer external carotid runs which parallel to the optic nerves and finally divides into a two branches, that is the one is a maxillary supplying to the muscles of the upper jaw and the other mandibular to the muscles of the lower jaw. The inner external carotid after a short run which turns round forms a loop and then runs posteriorly to supply the opercular muscles. A small optic branch from the loop supplies the muscles of the eye. Okay, here's the actual arterial system of the wallgo attu. Here there is all more structures are present, all body organs are present in that diagram. Here there is a internal carotids are present here, external, then the carotid labyrinth are present here. Whereas epibranchial arteries which is in the pair forms are present here. This is a air which in a middle side there is a air bladder artery is present here. In that air bladder below the liver is present here, and here's in a left side there is a alimentary canal is present. This is a part of that the stomach which is related to that the duodenum and the intestine here, and here right side there is a stomach, spleen is present here. In that lower side there is a ovary are present, then the ending of that the anus, that is we are called as that the rectum. Okay, this is the arterial system of wallgo attu. Okay, this diagram is important for that your examination. Okay, this the opercular branch, an opercular branch arising from the junction of external and internal carotids which gives two branches to the opercular muscles. A small and thin artery arising which ventrally to the carotid labyrinth supplies blood to the roof of the buccal cavity. Here's the auditory arteries are present here. A pair of auditory arteries are given off between the two epibranchials from the dorsal aorta which supplying the auditory region. Okay, the dorsal aorta and its branches. The dorsal aorta as described earlier is formed by the first pair of epibranchial arteries in the median line. It runs anterior-posteriorly below the vertebral columns all along the abdominal region, which giving segmental arteries to the trunk muscles, and is continue into the tail as the caudal artery. Then next one is the subclavian arteries. The subclavian artery, which arises from the dorsal aorta a little behind the second epibranchial artery and anterior to the ciliocomesenteric artery. It supplies the muscles at the base of the pectoral fin and also gives a lateral branches to the body walls. Here's the collacomesenteric arteries are present here, which carries the fifth functions are present here. Collacomesenteric arteries. The first one is a gastric artery with its branches to the stomach, then an artery to the air bladder, which supplies number of branches on the ventral surface of the bladder, and splenic artery to the spleen. The coeliac artery giving off branches to the stomach, duodenum, proximal part of the intestine, then the pancreas and the liver. The mesenteric running in the mesentery, which gives off branches to the intestine, to then the joins to the posterior intestine artery. Here we are seeing here the posterior mesenteric artery. The posterior mesenteric artery, which arises from the posterior part of the dorsal aorta in the region of the kidney, and which gives off a branches to that the kidneys, wherein it divides into a number of branches near the posterior border of the kidney. A second branch is given off from the pelvic fin. It then emerges out of the kidney to supply a branch of the rectum. These are the various functions of that the mesenteric arteries, which carries various body parts of the fish. They carry the specific arteries to supplying the blood from heart to the other body organs. Here the gonads are also supplied by branches from the posterior mesenteric artery in the female. An ovarian artery is given off anteriorly from the renal artery, which soon bifurcates to supply blood to the anterior part of the ovaries, and then runs anteriorly towards the intestine. The renal branch gives two branches to the anterior part of the testes, where in it branches into a smaller branches. Okay, these are the arteries are present, that the afferent and efferent arteries are present in that the arterial system, which carries the blood from bloods and to form the gills in the, and these all body organs of that the fish, which carrying the particular arteries to carries the blood from the heart. Today's we are seeing here the arterial system. In next lecture we are seeing that the composition of the blood.